Hi there. So in today's video we're going to be looking at some tools, tools of the trade. Now each malware analyst has their own separate list of tools. I have mine. I'll put some resources in there so you can check out mine. Check out a couple of analysts that follows resource list. We're going to be going through a few of them today. We're going to be going through 5 in total, but I'm going to quickly look at a couple of extras as well. In the description will be a link to a Reddit page. It's the one I've set up myself. It's a subreddit. You can go over there, you can discuss the videos, you can discuss with other people as well. My Twitter's also going to be in there as well, so if you do have any questions, always direct message me on Twitter first or tweet at me, then go to Reddit, then post in the YouTube comments. If you don't have Twitter, then apologies. Reddit, if you don't have Reddit but you have YouTube, then fine, that's okay. I'll just check the other two first usually. There'll also be a Patreon link down there as well. Now, the Patreon link itself is optional. Obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, but there are going to be some rewards, so let's dive into the video. So the first program I want to look at is PE Studio. PE Studio is used for it's basically initial malware analysis. Malicious software tries to hide its intentions, so it stops it from being detected early stages in static analysis. But when it does that, it leaves sort of traces like little indicators. And what PE Studio does is it tries to spot these indicators to make the initial malware assessment easier. It does that by using a parser and XML configuration files to detect various types of indicators, to classify any items in there and provide that information to you. It's because you don't want to run this exe. It provides you with the information so you can safely see what it is, if it's malicious or not, and whether or not you should run it. It's cool. The best thing about this is that it's linked with VirusTotal. If you don't know what VirusTotal is a website which you can upload files to, and VirusTotal will use its antivirus engines to scan the file and gives you the information back. So as you can see here, a lot of just Trojans, generic malware, ransom.jigsaw, information like that. There's some that haven't picked it up yet, of course. Gives you file detail as well, so we won't have to do that much background checking. So we'll cover that in the triage analysis video as well. What to look for, the starting points for malware, that sort of thing. Gives you any other additional information as well. This is the section I like. Additional file names. So any other file names that it might come under. So you can see Dropbox.exe. Another Dropbox.exe, Chrome setup exe, temp.exe, malware2.exe, jigsaw.exe. It provides you with all that information, so if you are building a report about this malware, it's there for you. Okay, so we'll get out of this now. Also provides entry points, how it's actually put into the system as well. Any information about the file header, the PE header, its signatures, its values, strings. So it lists the strings here, so you can see what the malware actually coded like. So let's see. So when it's ran, it creates a directory, puts protection on it, and then it sets up 2 files, an encryption and a decryption file. And then it creates the encryptor and the decryptor. I'm assuming it places it into those files. Then puts the files to sleep until it's ready, and then once it's opened up, you get some dialogue, some information. Here's all the load up stuff. There you go. So emails this code, blah blah blah. Here's the amount that you need to pay. Send us the Bitcoin address specified. It gives you that. It changes it all to .fun. As you can see, it masks itself as a Mozilla Firefox product. Interesting. Okay, so let's move on to tool number 2. Tool number 2 is dnspy. What dnspy is it's a tool to reverse engineer .NET assemblies. What a .NET assembly is, it's sort of a chunk of precompiled code that can be executed by the .NET runtime environment. A .NET program consists of one or more assemblies. These assemblies are a collection of resources that are built to work together to sort of form a unit of functionality, so a way to run the actual program. dnspy includes a decompiler, a debugger, and an assembly editor. It uses dnlib to read or write assemblies, so it can handle obfuscated assemblies like malware without it actually crashing. So this is why I was coming to dnspy. dnspy is my go-to for anything with source or anything like that, anything I need to look through. So let's see, form encrypted files. So it gives you the information, form encrypted files, it loads that up, then it disposes of it. And then it looks like it changes the file format to .fun. So that's how it's encrypted. So form game load, delete files. There's the get Bitcoin address. Let's create some parameters. So the get parameters. Cool, basically. Cool. We're going to be using that quite a lot, so we will run through all of its intricacies as we go through some of the malware stuff. But today I want to keep this short and simple. Number 3 is Wireshark. Wireshark is a network protocol analyzer. It analyzes network traffic in promiscuous mode. If you don't know what promiscuous mode is, it's a wired or wireless mode that causes the controller to pass all the network traffic through the CPU. This is used for packet sniffing. It's also so you can see all of the visible traffic on a chosen interface. So if you run an interface here just by double clicking on it, or just clicking on it once and then pressing the little shark thing up here, gives us the information about what's going on. Now this is just standard stuff, so you don't have to worry about this. But yeah, if you were to run this outside of a virtual box, then it's going to look a lot different. So due to that, you might want to be looking for specific ports or a specific filter. So it can filter via port. So if we go to capture, then options. Oh, we gotta stop it first. Then we go to options. We can enter a caption filter. So let's say port 80. We can start that up, and any traffic that goes through port 80 is going to be shown here. Interesting. It can also capture raw USB traffic. So for example, if you plug a rubber ducky in here, rubber ducky opens up a PowerShell, which opens up Firefox, which opens up a link to download a file. Wireshark will be able to capture that. Wireless connections can also be filtered as long as they traverse through the monitored Ethernet. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting that up at some point anyways for some dynamic analysis, so we're not going to go through that. But yeah, it's cool. There's a lot to go through for this, so I just kind of want to brush over this real quick. So we'll get rid of this. That's fine. Tool number 4 is Cff Explorer. What Cff Explorer started out as is it was to make portable executable editing easy without losing sight of the PE internal structure. The main reason I use it is because it has a hex editor, a quick disassembler, a file scanner. It can also pack and unpack UPX files, as well as it has a dependency walker. So here's the hex editor. So obviously you can change this if you want it. That's fine. Quick disassembler. So we can disassemble it into what we want. Now from this, if we quickly load this up in PE Studio, I believe it might say somewhere. I'm actually thinking of dnspy. There we go. So you see how it says 64-bit preferred? We can disassemble this as 64-bit. It gives us the base address and all the information from that. Don't really need it though, to be honest. It's fine. The file scanner is pretty cool. So it's what's called identifier, but it's a file scanner, and we can use that to scan the files if we want to. Yeah, nothing really. Dependency walker is awesome because dependency walker it tells you what that exe is going to drop. So when this exe runs, it's going to drop a DLL. This DLL is going to drop another DLL, and that's going to drop a bunch of DLLs, which in turn might also drop individual DLLs of its own. So I think there's only 2 that drop on the DLLs, or maybe it might be 1, I can't remember. I think it's 1. I think it's this kernel based one here, yeah. And then that doesn't drop any out either. Yeah. So what you can do is you can use this DLL with Process Hacker and find the actual handle, find where it's at, and then once you find the DLL, you can actually pull it from the file and analyze that as well. Best thing you can do though is, instead of going through all that, just find out what the DLL name is and just have a quick Google of what it does. So kernel 32 is riddled with security flaws, which is why it's often used in reverse TCPs, so backdoors basically. So Cff Explorer is definitely a must. The final one is Sandboxy. Sandboxy is cool because it's an isolation program. It's designed to run programs in an isolated environment to provide safety while using them. As malware analysts, we use this to perform behavioral analysis. So I'm not going to run Jigsaw in this, but I will just run something like PT Studio, and you can tell it's run through that because when you hover over the bars, it highlights yellow around the outside. And if you've got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different programs in here, you can terminate all the programs inside of it. And default box, there we go. And any contents as well that is dropped, so those DLLs that are dropped might be in here. What we can do is we can explore the contents, and then it tells us where those contents are. It does minimize to your tray, so you can delete the contents if you want, and any files that have been dropped in, you can delete them, and it'll safely remove them from the system without having to drop them in the system. Sandboxy is really cool, really cool. I love Sandboxy. I do have Buster Sandbox, but I prefer Sandboxy over that. And I'm just gonna quick. That's the 5 that I definitely recommend, and we're gonna use those quite a lot. There are a few that I actually quickly want to run through, and that's strings here. Now this is run through command shell. So if we were to type strings and then whatever the file is, the exe, when hit enter, it gives us the string output in command. So get folder path, size f, blah blah blah. So what else does it do? Let's see, we'll have a look through. So it displays a text that says your software has been registered. This is a confirmation code. Email us this code in the chat to activate your software and take it to that. Then what it does is it pops out a Dropbox exe, a Firefox exe, and then it runs it through the System32 work systems, and then that's it. It's encrypted, and then all the information you need to go through that. So as you can see, encrypted files, address.txt, it drops all this out for you. This is the address to send those bitcoins to. Now you can click this button, view encrypted files. So what it'll do is it'll cross check. You can check the payment button, and what it'll do is it'll cross reference to this to see if a payment has actually been made from that unique ID. And then if it is, it runs the encryption and the decryption, runs the decryption, it gives you your files back. So this is the address. So what this address is, this just links over to Coinbase. That's all that does. So there you go, market's Coinbase value. Text, blah 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 blah. It's more information about it. Product names, Firefox, Bitcoin blackmailer is the original file name. It's an easy way to see the strings without having to go through any specific files or any specific sort. Basically, it searches the executable. So strings searches the executable for ASCII or Unicode strings. It ignores any context and any formatting, so that it can analyze the file type and detect strings across the entire file. So you can use that obviously to find stuff, any like create processes, any executables. Sleeping is usually one to look for. Any IP of fields, any sort of internet open for any server addresses which you can use, sort of thing. Another one to run through is Office Mal Scanner. So at some point everyone's probably had that email where they've received a Word document. I just had one not so long ago actually, and it was for someone apparently had been spending £107 on GTA on my App Store, but I don't own an Apple phone, I own an Android and I always have. so it's always fun to get those, and we can use this. So we can go Office Mouse Scanner exe, and then we put the file name and the directory in, so it can go to it. Get rid of any parentheses there. So, and then at the end of this, we just put info, and what it'll do is it'll scan that Word document and give you any info, any macros that it's looking to drop or anything like that. But yeah, PEID. PEID is the last one. Gives you the entry point, file offset, whether it's packed or not. It's cool. I really like PEID, but obviously we haven't got anything that's packed, so we can't do that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. All the links are in the description as well. If you subscribe to Patreon, then drop me a direct message on Twitter if you've gotten level 3 or 4, and we'll set up a time when we can both do the 30 or 60 minute sort of tutorials, or whatever it is you want to go through. If you want to send me some files, that sort of thing. You're always welcome to send me files that you think are malicious. If you're a Patreon donor though, you can actually set up your own files if you want, as sort of tasks for me to do, and I'll do them. That'll be awesome. I'll put that in the rewards as well, because I haven't actually published that yet, but it'll be published by the time this video goes up. But anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.